How do you find the best financial planner ever? So unfortunately, you can't do what you would do for almost anything else and just do a search and find some reviews for that advisor because you're not going to find too many. At least in most cases, you shouldn't be able to find too many. The reason for that is because due to regulatory and compliance issues, uh, most advisors should not be asking for referrals or recommendations. And so they can kind of do it um, not in those platforms that are visible and just kind of ask the people to share with their friends and family, but they can't ask for things to be like put online directly. So that's one big reason why you're not going to see reviews for financial planners. And another reason is for the places where you could possibly put reviews like Facebook and LinkedIn, where a lot of clients may tend to live if they are online. Those things have to be turned off, and that's because the business owner can decide to hide or share those positive reviews or negative reviews. And so when the business has the control over that, the compliance and regulatory agencies do not want advisors to even have those turned on in the first place. So advisors have to go ahead and turn off those features where their clients can't even try to push any of that information out. The areas where you may start to find reviews and they may be a little bit sparse even though they're there would be Yelp. And Yelp is an okay one. I wouldn't say it's the best because I've heard stories from other advisors that what happens is if you're not paying Yelp for their advertising, they're going to start yanking reviews even if they're legitimate reviews. So that's something to be aware of. Then one where I have heard if there are going to be any reviews, pretty reliable, and Google's pretty good with making sure they're legitimate and then keeping them if they are. That would be the Google reviews. So that's where you can find those types of things, but you're not going to find too many, and those are the reasons why. But if you're still looking to find the best financial planner ever, there's a few questions you'll want to ask. I actually wrote a full 10 questions you should ask a financial planner strategy guide about a year ago, and I think all 10 of those are required in order to fine-tune and find that perfect fit. I know I'm not a perfect fit for everyone. I'm a perfect fit for the clients that I serve and enjoy working with, and I imagine they feel the same way, hopefully, back. But what I'll give you today in this kind of shorter video would be the top 3 questions. So if we had to scrub that top 10 questions to get to the top 3, I'd say these are the top 3, and I'll say them and then I'll kind of explain them too, just in case you have to run. So are you a fiduciary is going to be the most important. And then how are you paid? Second most important. And then thirdly, still highly important, but just kind of coming in third place would be, are you a certified financial planner or have a really credible designation? So let me unpack those a little bit more. You're probably wondering what the heck a fiduciary is anyways. So a fiduciary is required to act in your best interest. And unfortunately, even though you may have thought that all financial advisors, all financial planners are required to act in your best interest, that's not the case at all. It's actually, if you're probably to look at the percentage of it, there's a lot more advisors and planners that are not fiduciaries for their clients. And so that's important to be aware of, and you want to make sure that that's comfortable in your situation if that advisor is not required by law to do what's best for you. It kind of leads into that second question of how they're paid. Most advisors who are not fiduciaries are paid on commission or could be paid on commission, which means it's not very transparent for you to see how they get paid. And there's also a lot of conflicts of interest because if you can't see how much they're going to get paid, they may sell you certain products or things that cost you a lot more than a different alternative. So they're not required to put your best interests ahead of their own. And so that's a little bit scary. And that's why those are the top 2 for me. If someone was not receiving commissions and they wanted to be fee only, which is what Level Up Financial Planning is, and very intentionally, by the way. So fee only means that you're the only one that pays them, as well as the other clients that the advisor has. So if you're the only one paying them, you know exactly what you're paying them, and you're able to determine what the value is of the product and service that they're offering you, and you're able to make an informed decision. When you're working on that commission side, a lot of times what I've heard advisors and planners kind of tell clients if they're being paid a commission and the client's not paying them directly. They say, don't worry about it. You're not paying me a thing. This is a free service just for getting this product. Unfortunately, nothing's free, right? So those products have commissions built into them, and you may end up paying a lot more than you would if you would have went with a fee-only advisor. It's not always the case, but at least with that transparency of the fee-only advisor, you'd at least know what you're paying and being able to judge that against the value that you're receiving. Where in the commission world, you're not sure how much you're paying them or whether it's a good amount, because it's all kind of built in and packaged up to make it non-transparent for you. So very important. The last one is, are you a certified financial planner? I am a certified financial planner. I feel that it's very important to have some type of designation that's more than just saying I'm a financial advisor. If you ever look at someone's card or their website and it says they're a financial advisor and there's nothing else going on there, that's scary, because almost anyone can call themselves a financial advisor. I think that the tests I had to take to legally become a financial advisor took me about a week each to study for. And the exams are pretty easy, not anything at all on financial planning at all. So a lot of rules and laws, but nothing about financial planning or any types of strategies or anything that would be even remotely relevant for me doing financial planning work for my clients. So that's important to be aware of. There's other designations that are very highly regarded as well. So if someone's a CFP, that's the Certified Financial Planning Professional. If they're a CPA, that means they're a Certified Public Accountant. Oftentimes you'll see a lot of those people go more into that accounting realm of finance. But then also they tend to work with a lot of business owners because they have that additional tax knowledge. So there's other designations for sure. Make sure it's going to be a good fit for what you're working on, but definitely be worried and scared if all you see is financial advisor and they're maybe there's a reason for it. Maybe they just started in the industry. Maybe they work very closely under another certified financial planner, so they get very hands-on and they get feedback from someone that's very experienced and knows what they're doing. Really quickly, I'll just tell you what it took to become a certified financial planner, just so you can gauge that against those kind of 1 week study times versus the certified financial planner designation, where I have 3 years of experience working in the industry doing financial planning work with clients, and then had to finish coursework over 5 different courses that are very highly important to personal finances. And then I had to pass a rigorous test, and they've changed it a little bit, but the pass rate is usually around 50 to 60%. And so not too high at all when you kind of consider the people that are taking that, and only 50 or 60% of the people that take it actually pass it. So that's part of the process as well. So that's a lot more obviously than just having a week or two of studying some material in a book and then passing some tests and slapping financial advisor on their business card. So very important to be aware of. If you have any questions, I know covered a lot of different things. I would highly suggest that you search for my strategy guide, 10 questions to ask your financial planner strategy guide, and look that up and see some of the additional info so you can fine tune that search for your financial planner. And I'm happy to answer any questions you have.